Now, when launching new products, there's two pricing approaches. One is called skimming and the other is called penetration. Skimming is setting a high price. This is sort of skimming the cream off the top. We're going to set a very high price in the beginning of the product life cycle. And this is done when we have perhaps a high amount of research and development money that's gone into it, and we want to try to recoup that money fairly quickly. Or if we have a patent that we know that we've got protection, it's going to be a while before competitors can move into the market and copy what we've done. Now, one of the problems is that if you're skimming, you really do attract competitors into the marketplace because there's such profit potential. For a lot of technology products like DVD players and CD players, when they were initially launched on the market, there was a lot of research and development costs that went into them, and so they charged a very high price for these products initially. Now, penetration is using the other the other extreme. It's charging a very low price to try to move the product into the market very quickly and build as much market share as possible as quickly as you can, realizing that the product is going to move up the product life cycle very quickly. And so you want to try to have as much market share as possible and enjoy that ride up. And so here, what happens is that it's sort of based on volume. The product perhaps can be easily copied, and competitors will be in the market fairly quickly. So let's try to grab as much share as possible. And if you can, in fact, do that, you might even be able to discourage some competitors from moving in because you've already got a very large amount of market share. So two approaches to pricing at the beginning of a product life cycle. Now let's look at ways that companies manage price when they deal with the price to the consumer, ways that they can adjust it. Okay? Now, one of the ways of managing the price is pricing compared to other products. And for example, product line pricing. The example I want to use here is the automotive industry, and think about General Motors. General Motors has a number of different product lines like Cadillac, and then Pontiac, and then Chevrolet. So when a new product is introduced in the Cadillac line, it tends to be priced very high. When a new Pontiac is introduced, it's sort of medium. When Chevrolet, it's a little bit lower. And so what they'll do is they'll price products depending on where they are in the product line, okay, whether it's a top of the line type of product or a bottom of the line type of product. Now, optional product pricing is when there is sort of one price for the main product and a different type of price for an optional product. So the example is when you go into a restaurant and you might spend so much on a meal, but just spend a fair amount on, say, an alcoholic drink or a bottle of wine. And this is an optional product, and so a restaurant may make very little money on the food, but they may make a lot of profit on an optional product like a bottle of wine. Okay? Captive products are where you have one price for a product and another price for a product that is required for the product to operate. So companies may, for example, the example I have here, may sell a camera at a very reasonable price, but make a lot of money or have a very high price for the film. Again, if I go to new cars as an example, a company may sell cars at a fairly low price, not making much money on it, but make a lot of money on the service, on the back end of it, or on parts that are required. You've got to have the parts to make the car go. So there's a sort of they really price those captive products very high. Product bundling is combining several products together. So if you buy a television and a DVD player and a home theater, we can sort of put that together and give you a better price on it. And so that's, again, pricing relative to other products that may be associated with it. Now we look at sort of some other aspects of pricing with consumers, and one is called psychological pricing, sort of how consumers kind of think about prices. So prestige pricing is trying to create an image of quality or superiority by charging a high price. And so you might have perfume, and this particular product, the price of it doesn't necessarily relate to the cost. What it relates to is that there's an image of prestige associated with it, and there might be a very, very high price of $200 or $300 for an ounce, and consumers look at that and say, "Wow, that must be, really special," and they want to try to position it as very high priced and very prestigious, and so they put a very high price on it. And it's often done when you can't really tell very much about the product. You really don't sort of know about the costs associated with it. Odd even pricing, this is where, for example, you go to buy a piece of clothing and it's $29.99. You feel like you're getting a bit of a deal, except if you went to sort of a high-class menswear store and all the suits were priced at, say, $400 or $500, there's an image of quality or prestige with even pricing instead of $3.99 or $4.99, which tends to be a little bit of a bargain type of pricing. Promotional pricing is temporary price reduction. So, for example, when the product is on sale, or the use of loss leaders. Okay, loss leaders are temporarily reducing the price on a product to build traffic into the store. So a grocery store may put milk on at a greatly reduced price. So when customers come in to buy milk, they hope that they'll buy other groceries at the same time that are sort of at regular price. So they're set to generate a loss on the product, but they build traffic into the product. Multiple unit pricing is, again, just a more complicated word for volume discount. The more that you buy, like in a price club or a warehouse store, the greater savings you get. And coupons, trade-in, allowances, rebates are all ways of temporarily reducing the price. So you get some sort of rebate that you mail in or automatically get when you're in the store, and that reduces the price. Now, within the channel of distribution, so if you think about a manufacturer selling to a wholesaler, selling to a retailer, there's ways that prices change within that channel of distribution as well. One of them is cash discounts. So a manufacturer may offer a retailer a cash discount if they pay their bill relatively soon. And you'll see terms like 3/10 net 30 on an invoice. That means that if the retailer pays within 10 days, they get a 3% discount. If they don't take advantage of it, the full amount is due in 30 days. So this is a way of reducing the price if they pay quickly, and it's called a cash discount. Quantity discounts, so again, you're thinking about the more that you buy, the lower the price. They may be non-cumulative. In other words, if you buy sort of 10 of something, it's one price. If you buy 20 of something, it's another price, and it's sort of like on a one purchase deal, compared to cumulative discount, which applies to orders over a whole period of time. The example here I think of is in the automotive industry. Near the end of the year, a lot of car dealers you'll see will sell products at their dealer's cost. And you wonder, well, why are they doing that? Well, what may happen is that they have a situation with the manufacturer where if they sell 1,000 cars in the year, then they get an additional 2% discount on all 1,000 cars that were sold through that whole year. And so maybe by the end of December, they've sold 970 cars. They need to sell another 30. So what they do is they sell those last 30 at their cost, because they know that that'll just push them over the $1,000, and they get that cumulative discount on every car that they sold for the whole year. So that's an example of cumulative discount. Seasonal discount, trying to encourage companies to stock up. So what may happen is a company that manufactures hockey equipment, or they may try to go to a retailer and say, well, if you buy the product before maybe in July or August, instead of waiting till September or October, we'll give you a bit of a discount, and try to encourage them to stock up, and allows for that hockey company to kind of get some of the cash back early, and then discounts in terms of sales.